to be a bear?
No. I did not sign up for...
That was the only one they had! In the game of Hibernation, each player is a bear preparing to hibernate. So you'll have these several decks of cards out. So you'll have the different types of food you'll be able to eat and the different types of forage cards. So you can tell the difference between the forage cards and the food cards, because they'll say food and forage on the backs of those. So that way you don't get those mixed up. So each turn you're going to have a set amount of points that you'll be able to purchase these forage cards for, and then you'll be able to use those forage cards to go ahead and forage for the different types of food. The way you win the game is by eating the food in allotments of 10 points, and when you do that you will earn a hibernation point, and the first of 5 hibernation points wins the game. So you have all those decks of cards. You will also have this fold-out instruction manual. Once you've learned the rules, I personally like to keep it nice and folded right here, and there is a little handy reference guide which I will pass around the table for players that are maybe not 100% familiar with all of the different actions in the game. So it's kind of convenient to have that nice and folded up. So to begin the game, every player is going to start off with 10 energy. You can track this however you want to. I'm just going to use this D20 right here. So put that on 10 points right there. And once we start earning hibernation points, I'm just going to go ahead and use a D6 from actually the same set of dice here. But I don't need it just yet, so I'm just going to put that off to the side so I don't confuse myself and think that I have any of those hibernation points. So there are 4 different actions that you can do on your turn, and you can do one of those each of your turns. The first one is the simplest. You can just rest. Now resting has 2 different options in it. If you just take the regular full rest, you'll go ahead and you'll add 5 energy to your energy pool. Or if you want to, you can just take 3 energy, and then you and then all the other players will get a chance to shuffle their deck. And that is something that is very useful. Usually in the game, shuffling your deck, everybody will shuffle at the same time. So you're kind of going to look at other players and see how high and how small their decks are, whether or not you want them to be able to shuffle in and get some of those cards that they've collected. You can go ahead and purchase a card. So you can purchase only these forage cards down here, and you're going to use your energy to purchase them. So the little bear paw down here tells you how much energy each one of them cost to be able to purchase that. You can decide to draw a card. So you can draw a card from the top of your own personal deck, and then you're going to go ahead and play that card and do the action that is on that card. When you start off the game, obviously you don't have a deck to play any of those cards, so you really can't do that action just quite yet. And the last action that you can do is you can eat. So if you have a collection of food already in your stores, what you can do is you can go ahead and eat, and you have to eat a total of 10 points. So for example, if I had let's just say I had 3 insects and a honey, that would equal 10 points right there. So I can go ahead and eat that, and that would earn me 1 of my hibernation points towards the end of the game. Now, one thing that's also really cool is if you're able to eat a balanced diet, meaning if you eat 1 of each of the different types of foods, you will go ahead and earn that 1 point toward your hibernation goal, but you will also gain 10 energy, which is a really fantastic thing to do. So let's go ahead and take a couple of turns here to show you how the game works. So I have 10 points of energy right here. So I can go ahead and I can buy something here. Let's go ahead and spend 4 of those points to buy this berry bite. So you will go ahead and reduce your total there. Let me find the 6 right here. So now I have 6 points left, and I have purchased this Berry Bite. So when you purchase a card, that goes right into your personal deck, and then you shuffle your deck. With one card, it's really easy to shuffle a one-card deck. So that is now my deck right there. So then I'll go on to the other players. They will do whatever actions that they want to do. It'll come back to me, and now I have a couple of choices. I can draw this card right here. I know what it is. I can go ahead and rest and get more energy, or I can buy another card if I wanted to. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to spend my 6 points right there, so I'm just going to put my die off to the side saying that I've already spent that, and I'm going to buy this Bug Juice, which will give me an insect. So then you're going to take your 2 cards here, and you're going to go ahead and give those a shuffle. And what I like to do is I like to shuffle them behind the table or below the table and let another player tell me when to stop. So that way I don't know which one exactly is on top. Or if you're just like me, you keep on doing this and you eventually will forget which one is which, like right now I have. So that is my deck. It'll go on to the next couple players, come back to me, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a card here. So I'm going to flip my top card over, and ooh, it is Bug Juice. And Bug Juice will give me 1 insect. So that'll go into my discard pile here, which is slightly off there, and I will get an insect. Now these cards never go into your deck. They are food cards. So you'll just go ahead and start a little collection of those off to the side there. And everything is always face up with the different types of food. And then it's always public knowledge so people know what different types of creatures and stuff that you are eating there. So let me go through some of the other different cards here so you can see what everything does here. We have Campsite here, which will give you a food of your choice, which costs 10 to purchase. We have Berry Bite, which I have already purchased, which give you a berry card. Bug Juice, which we've just seen, gives you an insect card. Gone Fishing will give you a salmon card. And these on here, these are really interesting and kind of fun ways to manipulate the game a little bit. We have Power Nap. So Power Nap will add 10 to your energy. So instead of just doing the regular resting action, if you draw this card, you will add 10 energy. Or if you wanted to, you could add 6 to your energy, and then everybody will go ahead and shuffle their discard piles into their decks. So it's a way to get a slightly better version of the rest if you can draw that card. There is the Thief card, and the Thief card will take a food card of the highest value from an opponent of your choice. So if one of your opponents had an insect and a berry, you'd have to take the insect from them before you could take the berry from them. But you get to choose which opponent you take from. So if there's one opponent that only has honey, and you go ahead and take from them, well, you're going to get that 1 value honey. Then there is Frenzy. So with Frenzy, is you may choose 2 additional options this turn, but they cannot be the same. So Frenzy will allow you to take 2 more different actions. And you can also use Frenzy to draw another card, because those 2 options have to be different from each other, but you can obviously do the draw action again if you drew Frenzy. And then there is Multitasking. And Multitasking will allow you to draw 2 additional cards and go ahead and do those different actions. Mixed into each of the food decks, there are also these damaged versions of each of the different foods. So if you look at the salmon right here, the regular salmon is this nice salmony pink color. And if you look at the damaged salmon, it kind of has this kind of like dirtiness to it. So it's slightly different, but you can definitely tell the difference between the 2. Now, when you go ahead and eat something that was a damaged good, it still gives you the full value of that. But when you collect one of the damaged goods, let's just say the salmon was on top and I had drawn one of my Gone Fishing cards, well, I don't have a choice. I have to take this damaged salmon. When you do that, that represents the struggle of getting certain food. As in the instructions, maybe your bear slipped on a rock trying to get this salmon and kind of hurt himself. So whenever you collect a damaged food item, you lose 5 of your energy points when you do that. Also take in mind that if the thief takes one of your damaged cards, they end up getting the -5 points to their energy as well. So that is one thing to really look out for. But those are just the basics of Hibernation.
Punchboard Media, where we all bring something to the table. Pull up a chair at punchboardmedia.com.
So those are just the basics, as I just said, of Hibernation. Now this is a really fun little deck builder. It is something that my group has really enjoyed. This is perfect to pull out in between games. We have really enjoyed this. We usually end up playing a couple of different games, and the strategies can vary actually. One of my first couple of games, I was just collecting those food forage cards. That way I'll get a food of my choice. I would get a berry, I would get the different types of food, and I wasn't bothering with that bottom row. And then I have players that were only doing that bottom row until they got a rhythm going with the different cards, and they were able to combo those cards, especially, which one was it? The frenzy and the multitasking. So if they're able to do the frenzy to get 2 more actions, they would use one of those actions to draw a card, and then if they hopefully got that multitasking card, they would get 2 more cards, and they would actually able to do this interesting continuation and long turn, which is very interesting because even a long turn in this game still is only a couple of seconds long because there isn't that much that you can do. This game does not actually suffer from a lot of analysis paralysis problems because there's only so many options, so you're deciding exactly what you want to do. There are times that because taking that rest action and being able to shuffle your deck, because if you run out of cards, you can't play a card. So you want to shuffle your deck, but then you're looking around and everybody else gets to shuffle their deck at the same time. So it's a little bit of strategy of when you decide, okay, I absolutely have to shuffle my deck, so everybody else is going to shuffle their deck too. But this is something that I have really enjoyed. This is definitely staying on my shelf, and something very easy to teach, as I said, because you only have those points, you know what you can buy, and trying to figure out how to get those sets and everything. This is something, it's a really honed in, very simple, but very strategic and fun game. So if Hibernation looks like something that you would enjoy, down below I'm going to have links so you can check it out for yourself and find out where you can purchase it from. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and help support Cloak and Meeple. On my next screen, you will see call-outs for my Patreon, for my pod pledge. You can also subscribe to this channel. I would appreciate it if you definitely subscribe and hit that like button down below. And as always, thank you for watching.